Okay, we got cut out, so here's Jalea again.
Hi, I have Claudette Colvin. Claudette Colvin was 15 years old and took a stand on bus segregation, though she was not remembered for her heroic act. She was one of the many brave teens who took a stand for the civil rights movement. On March 2nd, 1955, she was coming home from school and sat in the middle seat of the bus, but she was told to move back to allow white passengers sit in the middle seat. She refused and stayed seated. The police came quickly. NAACP was looking for someone innocent like Claudette Colvin, so they could use and to change segregation seating on buses. But there was only one problem. Colvin became pregnant on an unwed teen. This caused them to wait for another test case. And then.
Okay, so I had Benjamin Pap Singleton. He was born in 1809, died in 1892. He was born to, he was the son of a white father and an enslaved black mother. As a youth, he was trained as a skilled carpenter, but regretted never learning to read and write. He reportedly made several attempts to run away from slavery, but was very unsuccessful at the time. But in 1846, Singleton managed to escape to freedom. He made his way along the Underground Railroad to Windsor, Ontario, and remained there a year before relocating to Detroit, Michigan. In Detroit, he lived as a scavenger and used what resources he could to help other escaped slaves find their way to freedom in Canada. Singleton remained in Detroit until after the Civil War had been underway. During that time, he worked as a carpenter. Benjamin Singleton was an American activist, businessman, best known for his role in establishing African American settlements in Kansas. With him being a former slave from Tennessee who escaped to freedom in 1846, he became a noted abolitionist, community leader, and spokesman for African American civil rights. He returned to Tennessee during the Union occupation in 1862, but soon concluded that blacks would never achieve economic equality in the white-dominated South. After the end of the Reconstruction, Singleton organized the movement of thousands of black colonists known as exodusters to found settlements in Kansas. A prominent voice for early black nationalism, he became involved in promoting and coordinating black-owned businesses in Kansas and developed an interest in the Back to Africa movement. Excuse me. He did start some colonies. In 1877, he led approximately 73 black settlers to Cherokee County near the town of Baxter Springs. Once the settlers arrived, they began negotiating the Missouri River, Fort Scott, and Gulf Railroad to land to build their proposed Singleton colony. Unfortunately, rich lead deposits had been discovered in the area the previous year, which led to a mining boom and caused the land prices to go too high. However, he did make a lot of different looking into other government land. His one colony that he did have a success with was the Dunlap colony, where more than 2,400 settlers immigrated from the Nashville and Sumner County areas. In his final years, Singleton was 72 years old, and most people referred to him affectionately as Old Pap. He was a formidable figure and used his reputation to bring together blacks into an organization called the Colored United Links. That was to combine the financial resources of all black people to build black-owned businesses, factories, and trade schools. It was formed in 1881 and held several conventions. The organization was successful enough locally that Republican Party officials in Kansas became interested in its potential political strength. Presidential candidate James B. Weaver of the Greenback Party met the CUL leaders to discuss fusion between the two groups. After 1881, CUL membership faltered, however, and the organization soon fell apart. After the failure of the CUL, Singleton became convinced that blacks would never be allowed to succeed in the United States. In 1883, Singleton briefly joined the St. Louis, Missouri businessman Joseph Ware and black minister John Williams in proposing the blacks migrate to the Mediterranean island of Cyprus. Of course, that idea did not develop. In 1885, Singleton moved to Kansas City, where he began to organize around Pan-Africanism. In 1885, Singleton founded the United Transatlantic Society with the goal of having all blacks relocate from the United States to Africa. This was a time when Bishop Henry McNeil Turner had his own proposed African migration movement. But of course, as you hear and see or know, that he's tried many things. Some succeeded, some failed, but at least he tried. And he did die February 17th, 1900 in Kansas City, Missouri. He was buried in Union Cemetery, Kansas City, Missouri on February 26, 1900. A long time. You want to know more about Benjamin? Look him up. Everybody have a blessed and positive evening. Thank you for listening.